Here's how you find your perfect sensitivity in Siege. I'm pro on R6 and have hit champ every season I play, so I'm going to show you my method. Now, why should you listen to me instead of someone insane like Spoit or Bolo? I'm going to be real, those guys are so insanely naturally talented that they can play with any sense. You see them change their sense all the time. Meanwhile, I had to start out with horrible mechanics, so I had to stick and train something comfortable. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is enter the shooting range for your starting sense. For your starting Hipfire, you're going to want to make a full 360 match the length of your mouse pad. So I swipe across my entire mouse pad and I get all the way around and I come back to the target. So that for me is going to be about 10-10. For your starting ADS, you're going to Google Siege Sense Calculator and go to this website right here. And you're going to put in the number 50 at whatever FOV you're playing and whatever res you're playing. So for me, 4-3. And you're going to copy down all these values one by one. So now that I've got my starting sense, we can go to the next step. Now you're going to load up into a terrorist hunt by yourself. Now there's two components of your Siege sensitivity. There's your Hipfire and your ADS. So we're going to do the method that finds the perfect one for both individually. The way to find your perfect Hipfire is to go in a T-hunt and then do this, okay? You're going to want to quick scope every single terrorist that you see. You basically want to see how consistently can I aim in and flick to a head without really wanting to think or try too much. As you can see, I'm kind of over flicking these aim-ins, so I'm actually going to move my Hipfire down by 1 each. Keep doing this, adjusting your sense up and down by 1 until you find a sense that is comfortable, okay? The key word is comfortability, okay? Because you don't want to be perfectly accurate. You just want to feel confident in your aim and not have to think too much about it when you're moving around the map. The reason this is my method for Hipfire is the purpose of Hipfire in my mind is to make quick adjustments to a static object, right? So if I'm clearing out this room and I want to lock onto this doorway, I'm aiming out and aiming back in, and that's my Hipfire sense. That's not my ADS sense because I'm not doing a massive adjustment, right? I'm aiming here and then I'm going to un-ADS, re-ADS, use my Hipfire sense to make that adjustment. If someone catches me off surprise and I have to hit a 90-degree flick to my right, that's going to be my Hipfire sense. So that's the purpose of making a Hipfire sense, one that you're comfortable locking onto targets with at ease. Now we're going to move on to our aim down sight sense or ADS sense. What you're going to do, you're going to enter quick play, go to arcade settings, and turn off everything except for free-for-all and deathmatch. This way you'll only load into deathmatch games. And you're going to want to keep this calculator open in the background while you're doing it. Now there's two things you want to be looking for with the ADS sense in the deathmatch. One is when you're wrapping angles, how comfortably can you lock onto the angle and wrap it at any distance. If I want to keep my crosshair on this doorway at a far distance right here, how comfortably am I just simply locking onto this doorway, right? Two is as players are moving across your screen, how easy is it to keep my crosshair locked on the center of the player and track their movement? The difference between deathmatch and T-hunt is that these players move a lot faster than terrorist hunt bots will, and they represent real movement in the game, which is what you actually want to be tracking when you're aiming down your sights. And what you're going to want to do with this calculator is you want to go up and down by 5 on this value right here. So my sense feels a little slow right now, so I'm going to up it to 55 instead of 50, and I'm going to copy all these values, and I'm going to keep going. So in my case, to save time, I only used the 1.0 and the 1.5 in these death matches, so I'm only going to change my 1.0 and 1.5. So I'm going to keep playing this in deathmatch and upping my ADS sense by 5 or down by 5. And once again, I'm going to get to a point where I feel comfortable, okay? I don't need to hit every shot. I just need to be able to consistently track my angles and track people even hitting body shots when they're moving. You don't want to go above 83 on this calculator because this value 83 means 58 one times, right? 83 is 1 to 1, okay? So that means if I do a 360 like this all the way across my mouse pad, then I aim in and do this again, it's the same, okay? So you don't want to go above that because that's probably the highest sense you can go unless you really want to. All right, so this is the final ADS sense I ended up with. So in game, I have a Hipfire sense of 9 and I have this ADS sense copied down all the way. And now for the final step, we're going to go back in the shooting range. We're going to pick the highest recoil gun that you like to play. And you're going to look at one of the doorways in the shooting range and you're going to fire your gun while moving back and forth and seeing how easily can you lock onto this doorway while shooting. And the reason we want to do this while shooting our gun is because recoil in Siege actually bumps your crosshair around. So it might be in fact that your sense is good for just crosshair placement, but it's not that good for controlling recoil in Siege. So you want to do this and make your final little adjustments for something that feels comfortable, right? Keyword comfortable over perfection. And to me, this is the most important thing you can get out of your sense with Siege. Reliable Hipfire that can lock onto targets that you want it to lock onto. A reliable ADS that can lock onto a doorway and track it. and then a sense that you can easily control recoil with and pre-fire people off of. The thing is, impressive flicks in Siege will come naturally later. This game is a lot more about crosshair placement and tracking than it really is, honestly, about hitting really, really impressive flicks all the time. So you can obviously adjust all of these senses as you play the game more and more and you're really feeling it out. This is just a kind of a baseline starting zone that you want to be in. But yeah, now you have a baseline starting like region of sensitivities that you know are comfortable to you. And as you adjust these one by one, as you play the game more and more, don't over adjust them. Try to actually really, really play out a sensitivity before you do some over adjustments. Otherwise, you're going to lose all your muscle memory. Tiny last thing to say is that a lot of players actually do like to play with a lower 1.5 just because the 1.5 off the calculator will make it feel like a bit fast. I like to keep it to the calculator, but a lot of players do actually lower their 1.5 and keep everything else the same. A lot of high level players. Thank you so much for watching my video. If it helped you at all, and if you're beginning your Siege or you have beginner friends that you know this video would help, please send this to them and let me know if this video helped you or not. Give me some feedback in the comments down below. Peace, guys.